Greetings, travelers.
Greetings, travelers. It's been a little while since I was singing, and I noticed I was singing more in the car. So I may be bringing that back a little
Hey,
bit because
I
we are
love
in
that. That was
yeah,
so
freaky,
good.
freaky February. Freaky
Freaky
February.
February. Yeah, we are.
Okay, we're getting caught up, Mark, because we're going to do a few listener questions and tales because we did get inundated, which was wonderful, and they should keep them coming.
Oh, yeah. I
And
mean, we've been slammed with these, but we've had so mmany good guests. We've had so many good stories to tell. And we did slow down to once a week. So
well,
we were
I
able to.
think we're gonna start doing some little mini episodes sliding
We're,
in. I
we're
think
doing that
so.
shortly. I'm actually starting those very soon. So it should be
Yeah.
as
So
of
we're
now.
recording this, but I'm willing to bet those will be out by the time this
Yep.
airs. So one thing I do want to do a call out because you guys really did wonderful on sending me scary stuff, and I still I'm having nightmares. So that was good. Hashtag love our travelers. I actually ran into something and I'm gonna read it because I sent it to you guys and I was like, so I want to talk about this. So this was supposedly from Barry Wilmore, who was an astronaut. Now,
Hmm.
I found this on the internet. I haven't validated it. So if Barry didn't say this, but it got me thinking. Here's what he said. You never know true beauty until you see the Earth from space, or true terror until you hear someone knocking on the space station door from the outside. You look through the porthole and see an astronaut, but all your crew is inside and accounted for. You use your comm to ask who it is, and he says he's Ramirez returning from a repair mission. But Ramirez is sitting right next to you in the command module, and he's just as confused as you are. When you tell the guy over the radio, he starts banging on the door louder and harder and begging you let him in, saying he's the real Ramirez. Meanwhile, the Ramirez inside with you is pleading to keep the airlock shut. It really puts life on Earth into perspective.
Yes.
So
Mimics.
mimics. So we talked a little bit about this with Chris and stuff, but Chris Belzano, Legend Trooper. But people say skinwalkers because they're using a Navajo term. Correct,
Mhm.
is what a skinwalker is. There's many terms for these, but I think we need to bring mimics back because to me the mimics are, and that's what this was under, was a mimic thing. And so now, travelers, I need your mimic stories, whether it's an animal or a person where you ran into a situation where you're seeing the doppelganger or whatever, the
Yeah.
mimic of the other person. And then how did you tell the difference between them? I'm really curious because now it's got me wondering if some of the interactions I've had in the past that were weird were because I wasn't actually talking to that person. I was talking to whatever this thing is.
I've got to say, I remember back in high school, somebody kept saying they were talking to me the other day, and I'm like, who are you? I haven't ever talked to you in like 2 months, and I apparently had a doppelganger somewhere that people were convinced was me. So I'd be interested to hear if other people had that same problem. So
Yeah, because to me, it's not, oh, I saw somebody who looked just like you. I ran into that with my husband the other night. He was at we went to his best friend's birthday, and the night before they had seen a band, and there was a bass player that looked exactly like my husband. So
nice.
he jokingly dressed in the same clothes the bass player had and showed up to the birthday because that was funny. But it wasn't, I talked to him and it was John and he was whatever. It was, he looked like him. We all have those twins in the world that look
Yeah.
like us that people see, right?
Yeah.
But what we don't have is interacting like whoever your friends were. Who the hell were they talking to? Because if they said they were talking
Yeah.
to you, I get it if they were drunk at a party, but no, they were in school, probably at a locker or in a class, having a conversation with Mark Muncy, and it wasn't really
Wasn't
you.
me. Yeah.
So I want your stories, travelers. So as we're jumping into this episode now, I need mimic stories. I want to hear them all. I want to get freaked out and never leave my house because it's coming close. Oh, and we're going to be posting our events here shortly that Eerie Travels will be at. So we'll be listing those, the ones we know so far this year and where we'll be. So, and we'll keep you updated. So just, check out our site and be a part of that. Now, with all that said, Mark, why don't you do the first question? I've talked a lot.
All right. All right. Well, thank you guys again for writing all these. We are sorry we're falling behind on them, but we are eager to dive back in. So let's see. So saw something tonight and trying to process it. Ooh, already starting fun. Had to report it to you all at Eerie Travels. I
Well,
heard
thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. I heard stuff getting smashed on my porch and was convinced it was kids doing vandal stuff on Halloween. Heard it right outside my window. I called the police. They asked me what they looked like. It got quiet, so I looked outside. I can only describe it as a shadow squatch.
Shadow Squatch. What the heck is a Shadow Squatch?
I'm
Now,
loving
no.
this. It was at least 7 feet tall and was knocking over my potted plants. It looked like it was chasing the neighborhood stray cat. It was big and black and seemed to blend in with the darkness. If it wasn't 3D, I'd swear it was just a giant shadow. The cops said they were sending a car. It grabbed the cat and then just seemed to blink out of view. The cops just left, and of course, they asked if I was on drugs. I'll be getting an outside camera. I feel sorry for the cat, and this is near London, Kentucky. Have you heard of anything near here like this? I can't sleep. Helen.
Well, hello, Helen, and now I'm making a list of places Erica's not
to not go.
Oh,
I choose to believe that cat was its friend, and it was like, "Oh, we gotta go. Let me carry you out of here. Not,
okay.
I'm going to take you to eat you." It's
Yeah,
friendly.
not
cat
like
shows
Bandit and
back up.
Mothman.
Yeah, I'll do that. I will say this, Helen. I think we've heard of these kind of things before because a lot of people say that when they encounter Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever, they do blink out of existence suddenly. Like there's a pop or something like that and they're gone. Not allowed, like,
I do think this is something, different along the same lines. They do look like that.
yeah.
A similar appearance and stuff. So,
And the kind of it blending in with the darkness, that's something we talked about a lot is that I think we take for granted, especially because we see nature shows where people are showing us things all the time, where like they're showing us this bird. But if you go to the wild, that bird camouflages in X grass so that predators don't see it or something, right?
Yeah.
I'm just giving an example. Zebras, it is so interesting if you actually see a zebra in the wild, not on a nature show, camouflage wise. Like if you're looking at it from a distance, the way the stripes work, you can't see it. It's just not there. So, I think these creatures have similar abilities, and that's part of their survival mechanism. I wouldn't worry unless it keeps coming back and then it has something on your porch at once. I wouldn't be too worried about it. And if you are, you can always, put peanut butter with a slightly loosened lid, see if it picks it up and eats it, right? Like, see if you just happen to be in its territory. And I'm sorry for the cat. I don't know if we've heard whether or not Sasquatch eat cats, but I guess it's possible. Question mark.
I don't know. London, Kentucky is a wonderful area. It's actually an area we've researched quite a bit. There's some stuff going on in that area that we've heard. I've not heard of another shadow squatch in that area, but I will look into it. There are other critters in that area, cryptids that we've heard of in that area, including the big guy Sasquatch and including Wampus cats. And one of my favorites was the sheep squatch.
Oh yes, sheep squatch.
Or goat man.
Too.
Yeah, different from the goat man. They are different. And then, but they are in that area. And London is not too far from where my family roots are. My family roots are from Hazard, so it's not too far from there. So
it's true. And so, Helen, if you would like, if you want to email us back, send us the location, your contact, we can get one of our friend teams, our podcast adjacent teams that are in the area to come and take a look and do some investigation, because maybe they can give you some more peace of mind. So let us know.
Yeah, and sorry it took us so long to get back to you, Helen. But all right,
here we go.
Erica, go on.
Yes, greetings, travelers.
Greetings.
Recently, my friends and I bought a Ouija board at a botanical and magic market. That was a terrible idea. So I'm just going to start.
I knew you were going to say that.
I knew it. I'm like, intention. It's fine.
Ouija board was fine.
Okay, you two are the worst when it comes to this. Like, normally I am the person that's like, that's a terrible idea. Good. What time are you picking me up? Let's go.
Yeah.
But you two are like, it's fine. I feel one day
It's
you're just going to
good.
show up at my house with a Ouija board and I'm going to be like, you are banished forever.
It's
gonna
made by
sneak it
Parker
in.
Brothers. It's all about intent. It's are you going to be upset about Barbie Dream Date? Is that?
Ooh, we
something?
should try to summon ghosts with Barbie Dream Date.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
Okay, well, first of all, that's weird. Second of all, we don't know this is a Parker Brothers, but now I'm going to continue the story.
All right. All right.
Okay. Recently, my friends and I bought a Ouija board at the Botanical and Magic Market. It's a bit old, but it has its charm. Last night, we played with the classic rules of everyone touching the glass without letting go, but nothing happened. I'm very skeptical, and I don't believe in that because I was in the right environment. And the truth is, I did get scared for the simple fact of having done it. In short, nothing happened to us. We weren't cursed by any demon. We tried to contact Pazuzu, and it didn't
Pazuzu. Oh
work.
my gosh, they went straight for the gold there.
But I still have doubts. Does it affect anything that I don't believe in that, Lewis? Well, Lewis, yes. The
Yeah, because
answer
his
is
intention is not that he believes in it, so the intention isn't. It's not going to work.
no.
Then
Some
it's
things
just the
have to be
Sally Parker
believed-
Brothers game.
Yeah, some things have to be believed to be seen. Yeah,
That would be a good shirt.
yeah.
Yeah, that would
So, Lewis, I think the thing is too, I don't know how many people were doing this, but it's sort of the combined intentions. And you don't necessarily end up cursed. I mean, sometimes things happen, but I think it's more you regardless of who you're calling, you don't know who's picking up on the other end. It's not like you have the correct phone number that you validated when you're doing that. So who knows what you could or could not bring forth or what was around to pay attention. Mark, thoughts?
No, I agree. I think it's again with if not necessarily if just one person doesn't have the intent, it could have been multiple of you. You could have been negatively affecting all of that, and sometimes things just don't want to play. We don't understand the rules on these things, so sometimes you don't know the rules till you break them.
Yeah.
But right now, nothing happened. Great, you just you spend some money on a Ouija board. So
yeah,
and you had to spend some time with your friends, hanging around, curious. That's all that matters. I wouldn't go for Pazuzu though. That's
try again.
and maybe that's the Hollywood demon. He's already got enough fame. He doesn't need any more going to his head. So.
And if you want to do it, just go somewhere also maybe that has some more energy. I mean, you could try that and then just make sure you close the door. And if something terrible happens, don't do it again.
Right.
Anyway, Lewis, may the force be with you, my friend.
Oh my gosh, this next one, Erica, I think you should read this one because I think you'll do it justice.
Okay, let's see. OMG, travelers and witches. Well, hello.
Hello.
My boyfriend ate the salmon.
I knew you'd love this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, laughing travelers. My boyfriend ate the salmon offerings. How fucked are we, Tana? Oh, hello, Tana. Yeah, you're pretty fucked. You may want to undo that. Because, yeah, that's like the rule. That is literally the number one rule with those is it's not for you. So
your solemn offering should be they're offered to others. It's
I would fix that. I would maybe redo that in a new time. And
I love the image though of him going up to the altar and being like, "Oh, a little snack for me." Like,
yeah, look at that. There's some cupcakes and some nuts and berries. I'm all in. This is great.
Yeah, this sounds like offer more. Fix it.
That's like saying, who ate the milk and cookies out for Santa? I ate them before I left them for Santa. Guess what? You're not getting any presents. Well, yeah. I wouldn't say you're effed, but I would say you are in trouble. Yes. So
okay, well, that's because Mark seems to be being genteel on this particular episode. You are fucked. Okay. Okay. But we love you and fix it and let us know what happened.
All right.
Okay. So, Mark, go for it then.
All right. So have you ever had your target help you with your spell? I'm working on a hex jar for my ex, and he drove me around today and helped me get cemetery dirt. He also wanted to help me seal the jar because he's so curious. Delilah.
Wow, Delilah.
I love that.
That's great.
Okay,
Oh
I'm just
man.
gonna say the absolutely evil witch in me was like, yes, do it. I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Bo, because we kind of have the same look on our face. We're like, make it happen.
Yes.
Um,
Have him put his own dirt in there.
I I actually, honestly, I think we need to reach out to the witching community because my
Yeah.
guess is that that is not a good plan. But
No, because
um,
it's gonna his intentions are gonna mess with your intentions on the
yeah,
jar. Because
Yeah.
he doesn't know what you're doing unless you've told him exactly, hey, I'm doing this to you.
to seal
I get the
you
But
in
he
the
feeling,
probably
jar.
he could know that and still think it's silly, and then that
yeah,
affects
that's true
the
too. That could
jar.
also
You
negatively
know?
affect what you're trying to do. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, intention is everything at this stuff. You get out of what you put into it. So I don't know. Let us know how it turned out. That's
But
great.
I want to give mad props to you, my witchy friend, for
Yeah,
even
that's good.
having that person be the carrier of you for the spell parts. That
Uh,
is some badass witchery, and I appreciate it. So,
yeah.
okay, here we go. I worked at a haunted attraction this year. Cool. Why do I get these ones? Okay. I was told there was a ghost that haunted the place. I never saw anything for myself, but I felt a sense of dread hanging over the place. It would start as soon as we turned the spooky lights and sounds as the place opened. Once we closed, turn it all off, I felt nothing. Could we have been feeding something or summoning something? Linda.
Uh,
Hello, Linda.
that
The
sounds
answer
very
is
similar to the old Hellview Cemetery vibe.
fearmonger.
Yeah, I
That's
was
what it
gonna
sounds
say
like.
fearmonger,
Like it was
definitely.
that's its alarm clock. Like it hears the spooky noises and it's like, oh, we're awake
We,
now. It's time to feed.
I will say, back in the day at Hellview, when we would turn on the lights, we'd always shout "Going hot" because we'd turn on all the lights and everything would go on. We'd want everybody to be prepared because that's sudden. Sometimes, so the sounds are jarring instantly when they come on and stuff. And I'll never forget one night we did that and we threw everything on, said "Going on," turned it on, and then we hear this screech in the back that was not part of anything. We come running into the back, and a poor squirrel had a heart attack
Oh
from
no.
all the noise coming on all at once and was literally laying there twitching, and we had to take it to a rescue.
It
Wow.
didn't know what going hot meant.
It didn't know. Yeah, exactly. We warned it, but
So
so,
that's my guess too. I think we're all the Eerie Travel crew believes you probably have a fearmonger, and we find that a lot.
yeah.
Haunted attractions tend to be a place because people are already primed to feed them this fear, and there's very little they have to do. I think they can just
Yeah,
kind of
it's
go
already
off of what's happening
yeah,
there.
you're turning on, and also we don't know exactly how EMP and electromagnetic. There's so many things that use REM pods and all this when they go ghost hunting and all that. That's a lot of electronics, and generally when your haunt turns on, that's a lot of electric going on suddenly. That can cause who knows, So there is some scientific to this too. So
Yes. So yeah, may the proverbial have fun with that, Linda.
yep.
Just make sure when you're leaving, say you can't come home with me.
Yeah, and let me know where that is. We'd love to visit it.
Yes, please. And I will not go inside, but I will be dutifully there to not punch
Yeah,
people in the
you can
face.
document outside. So all
Yes.
right, let's
Okay,
see.
go.
Going
Mark, you.
next. I just utilized Chat GPT for brainstorming a spell because I sometimes struggle with brain fog and expressing myself. We should not be sleeping on it. I spoke to my custom assistant like I would a knowledgeable mentor, and she spoke back and helped me craft a personalized invocation in about 20 minutes. Very interesting and helpful tool. Do you think it could help bring back lost knowledge? Lula. Wow.
I am very anti Chat GPT, but I think it can't bring back lost knowledge because it's bringing back knowledge that is somewhere. It's
Yeah.
not like manifesting knowledge. It's pulling from some source somewhere.
Yeah, something that somebody wrote somewhere
Yeah.
or sometime, all that. So it could bring fresh ideas.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, that's the whole point of what it really should be useful for is just helping you brainstorm. Again, giving you a sounding board, something to just give you ideas and stuff like that. I think yeah, I agree. You shouldn't be sleeping on that. It is a tool for that. I mean, that's what it is. It's a tool.
Yeah.
But as a helpful tool, yes, very interesting. I don't think it's bringing back any lost knowledge though, but it might bring you knowledge that you've lost.
Yeah, like
So
maybe they don't know about it, but that like maybe it can pull from books and stuff that maybe you don't have access
you might
to.
be suddenly
But
getting some Slavic, mythology.
but what you should
You
also
know,
do is then look it up from there and
yeah,
make sure that it's pulling it in the right context because ChatGPT doesn't have the context,
yeah.
even though it
You could be
acts like
pulling
it
a
does.
spell from some
It
kid's book,
yeah.
that was written, who knows? It's
Yeah.
literally coming out
That
of the air. And
that
I mean, we're
the
not even
knowledge
gonna get
that it
into the
gives you.
whole where Google AI is trying to complete some process, and the only way that would take to the end of the universe to complete this process, and yet it figured it out very quickly. So the only way that would work is if the AI pulled from parallel universes.
Yeah.
So we're
Ew,
not even
that's
going to get into
gross.
that.
I
So
don't
who
like
knows
that.
what's going on with that? So be careful.
Ooh.
Yes. I agree. I agree. Okay. Here we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Lula.
La. Okay.
Lululemon, whatever. No.
Okay. Here we go. Don't you forget. My cat of 13 years passed away 3 days ago.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
your loss. This is a kitty episode. I don't know how.
Yeah, a lot of cats this week.
Yeah.
They're
I
not
miss
doing well.
They're not doing well.
I miss him so much. I woke up late to work today and was rushing out the door. I put the food bowl out of habit and left. So tell me why there is no food in the bowl when I get home. I don't own any other animals. I've never seen a rat or mouse in my home. No cat door was open or windows either. Devlin. Well, hello, Devlin. And it sounds like your cat was like, oh, food's out. That's
Oh,
what you want
breakfast
to do.
time.
No problem. Got it. Nailed it.
You
So,
left, you
um,
left the Samhain offering, and something decided they didn't get it at the one house, so they came
Yeah.
over here and ate it. So.
Like I guess I'll have some cat food since that boy ate it all.
yeah. It's so terrible. Devlin, I think, and I'm again sorry for your loss, but I think your cat's probably there looking out over you and like, oh, you did your thing, I'll do my thing. So that's all. Just, sometimes I feel like, especially animals and stuff that you are close to, really have that protection and trying to make sure you're okay. And sometimes when you lose loved ones, you kind of feel their presence for a little bit until they're sure that you're able to move on from their death.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think just like I said, I think something decided, hey, this is good food. Let's eat it.
Yeah.
Could be and you may not have seen a rat or a mouse in your home, but
Yeah,
that
there
doesn't
could be
necessarily
that.
mean they're not there. So I'll just say that too. So it could be
Well, that but
terrestrial.
eating all of the food,
Especially in winter, there's lots of mice that like sneak in because they're cold.
Yeah. I mean, with
I
well, there
think
was
it's
that one house.
really
They were convinced they were perfectly nothing, and it was a great security camera caught the raccoon that came out of their fireplace, their chimney.
So
And
maybe it's a raccoon.
so you never know. Anyway, moving on. Thank you, Dylan. That's a great question. So
yeah.
all right, I have a question. I work in public sales position. I was working with a client, and all of a sudden, I started feeling hot, and even to the point I was sweating. My energy just left me. She had on crystals and copper and looked like a small knife hanging around her neck. It was in a leather casing. She stayed in the store for 2 hours. I've had a headache ever since. What just happened to me? Rhonda. Well, Rhonda, it sounds like that maybe she had a negative, protection on her of some sort, or a negative attachment, and you were picking up on it. It might not necessarily be anything other than her energy was mixing badly with yours, and you were just. But what do you think,
It
Erica?
could maybe not
I
be the person at all. Like it
yeah,
could
I was
be
gonna
this
say
thing
that
wrong.
might not be a person. Here's what I would recommend. I would recommend doing like a hex jar to capture that energy with that intention. Like whatever she brought in, you put it in the hex jar and you seal it. That's what I would do. Because it sounds like, I mean, immediately when you were reading it and describing it, I'm like, that wasn't a real person.
Oh, Erica.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
The only reason is because what she sounds like to me is a shaman. That's what that description like I got from it, right? With the knife and the whatever. And so I think that was a representation of some sort of intention somebody has done. And so I'd undo it because that's what I feel like, especially if you're still feeling it.
And they wanted to come take part in commerce. Is like
Or just, hey,
Well,
we don't know where she works. It could be,
that's true.
yeah.
so and
Rhonda, we got some options for you there. So
that's what I would recommend. So
yeah.
okay.
All right.
Here we go. With Mark under the weather, do you think he would be up for short stories to replace your Tuesday episodes? Ironically, yes.
Ironically,
Yes.
we were just discussing this.
Yep.
I think this
Him-
letter came, and this is where we discussed this. So this is a
Okay,
while.
yeah. Him reading a 5-minute story would be fantastic. Have you rescheduled Rawhead and Bloody Bones? I was told to be careful near the local swamp or they would get me. I'm in Pikeville, Kentucky. Pearl. Well,
Oh,
thank you,
Rawhead and
Pearl.
Bloody Bones. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Scary. What is that?
I don't know, but I'm clickety clacking it and adding it to our list of episodes.
That is
So
a Eastern Kentucky legend made famous in a few folklore tales. It's a British story that transplanted over here. So sometimes they're two different things. Sometimes they're one thing. They go together and they are exactly what you think. One's like Rawhead. He's basically a skull head. And then Bloody Bones is basically that, a bloody bone creature looking
They
for his
sound
head.
like a serial killer duo.
I-
Like, it sounds like
Yeah.
like what Brooks and Hare or something, like some
Yeah.
sort of like duo that like hunts together.
Yeah, I've heard Pikeville, I've heard Prestonburg, I've heard a lot of that area. It was very Hatfield McCoy's talked about it a little bit, and that they were all over that area. So yeah, I'll delve into that. It's actually in an upcoming project. I mentioned it a little bit. So in our second book. So
Hint, 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 hint.
yeah.
No, that's
Earl, thank you for some wonderful inspiration there. So.
Yes, we appreciate it. And these probably as you're listening, those episodes have already started coming out. So yes, it is happening. And Mark is going to start when he feels up to it and can do it. And then me and Bo might throw some little shorties in there as we're doing more research. So yes, thank you, Pearl. We appreciate it. Mark, let's get a couple, at least one more before the break.
Yeah. Let's see. Greetings, travelers.
Good evening.
Greetings.
I already watched Nap's special. The hearing is tomorrow, and the new James Fox documentary is on the way. Let's go! What do you think of Danny Sheehan? Yeah, he has recently said some really out there things, and yet he is the attorney to all the main disclosure players on the Hill. So if he was delusional, wouldn't they drop him? Do you think this will lead to anything before Trump takes office, Susan? Well, it took us a little bit to get to it. Trump's in office. I don't think we've seen any disclosure. I think the drone thing blew over without
it flapped.
It collapsed. All this other stuff has collapsed. Hopefully, more people have promised more. We've had the hearing.
Well, did you see that Trump is
was
releasing? He's releasing the JFK, RFK, and MLK assassinations.
Says he is, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, he says a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if he is going to release, because he's talked about that, releasing the UFO in private.
But he also said that last time too.
They all say it.
They always say it.
They all have the same thing where they were talking about, like, I think Obama talked about to an interview with Colbert at one point where he was like, when you get in there, you think you can just make all this stuff happen, but there's so much red tape, quagmire, and all this other stuff that keeps these things going and keeps them from happening that you can't. And then there's reasons we can't. And that was Colbert's like, so UFOs? And he's like, and he didn't say anything. He's like, that's not a no. That's not a no. And it's like, so I think that's where we're at the same thing. I think there's going to be a lot of hoops to go through before anything comes out because there is so much behind it. I agree with you. We had that episode where you were talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson and Antarctica, where like they couldn't keep this secret. I'm like, no, I think there's a lot of things they can keep secret. And
I also, like I said, the question I'm going to reach out to him because he owes me a Pluto conversation. But the question I didn't get to ask him, right? Regardless of his theory, that's interesting to think about. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. We don't know. But one of the things I didn't get to ask him is if you look at, we talked about this, the time period the government could have stepped in and contacted these races, right, and went, no, don't do that. There could be a collective that went, we need to funnel this, because like the drone thing still, like there's some stuff happening that you got to go, what the heck? And me and Mark, we talked about this, that we really believe something is coming soon that will not allow certain things to be hidden anymore.
They're building to something. Again, it makes perfect plot. You couldn't write this stuff, in a James Patterson novel. This is there's something to this. So we'll see. That's all I can say. Thank you for the letter.
Yes, but we need to take a quick break for a note from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Destiny Beard, the lyrical soprano who will haunt your dreams. With her alluring melodies and intricate harmonies, this dark siren of wistful song shall capture your soul and lead you into the night. Check out Destiny's new single, The Haunting Is Over, with international musicians Sam Haines and Gary Bennett, as well as her other musical works at destinybeard.com.
Okay, we're back. Let's continue. I want to see if we can
these
get
are great.
They are.
I miss these.
We got to see how far we can get. I want to try to get them all because I feel bad for people who've sent questions. It takes forever. Okay, here we go.
These are from October, so this is good. All right.
I live out in the Ocala forest and legit don't go outside alone at night. Laugh out loud. You and
Smart.
me. You and me.
Smart.
I live a mile down a dirt road behind an old cemetery from the 1800s. We have passerby spirits all the time. Even my dog sense them. I also bought my property with a known suicide. His name is Harold. Legit, that's his legal name. And he's still very much active participant on our property and makes himself known. What stories do you have of my backyard out here in the haunted forest of Ocala? Christina. Well, Christina, I would not have bought anything you just said, but I wonder how many ley lines are near Christina's property, because my very good friend had that problem where her house was located. Things kind of just were through it all the time.
Yeah, no, Ocala National Forest is probably one of the most haunted locations in the world. It's funny, we just had Chris Balzano on. He wrote a book called Ocala, the Haunted Ocala National Forest, and it's all about that. I highly recommend you pick it up. But also, there's so much there. There's been massacres, there's been murders, there's been so many things, because it is, if you look at Florida from space, Ocala National Forest is that big dark spot in like the upper right corner that where there's nothing, and that's a big chunk. So it's a huge area. There's a lot of stuff there. The Wild Man of Ocala, which is basically their skunk ape. Cursed Cities, an abandoned city in the middle of there that super haunted, lots of history there. The Blackwater clan, this spooky clan is out there that no one really knows if they're still there or not. They were classic inbred spooky church snake worshipers and all that. There's so much out there. We will do a deep dive into Ocala National Forest at some point. But yeah, you got a lot out there.
You do. So I would suggest right now getting Chris Balzano's book and also getting Creepy Florida by Mr. Mark Muncy, who's not going to talk about his book. And we're going to move on to the next story. So Christina, we will do some more on that, but definitely check out those two books because they have a lot of information about everything creepy in your neck of the woods.
Yep.
Okay, Mark.
All right, let's see. Question for the Eerie Travelers. Well, that's us, I guess. So when I was a child, for my birthday one year, I got a soldier playset. It had a toy gun, a rubber band grenade, a helmet, and a belt. The playset also included a collection of stickers. Each sticker was a unit patch of the United States Army. I remember being particularly drawn to one patch in particular, the Screaming Eagle of the 101st Airborne Division. Rightly so. That's a good one. A decade or so later, I'd enlist in the Army, and upon graduating from basic training, I received orders for Fort Campbell, 101st Airborne Division Air Assault. So my question for the group is, that feel of being drawn to the Screaming Eagle sticker a decade or so prior, was that perhaps a memory of something yet to come, something akin to what Billy Pilgrim experiences in Slaughterhouse-5, maybe? Ralph. Well,
Hi, Ralph.
future memory sometimes becomes a thing. You could have had a premonition. You could have had, or maybe like Erica and I tend to believe sometimes that we go around in circles a few times, and maybe your past self was part of the 101st and are back there again.
That is
Who
that
knows?
is my thought, is that you have some undone business with this particular group or some loyalty, and you're back to do it again.
Well, thank you for your service. Fort Campbell is an amazing place, and the 101st Airborne does serve with honor. So, good.
Ralph,
Thank you
and
for
that's
your
where
service.
my daughter was stationed, was at Fort Campbell. I've been there several times. She was stationed as a combat medic. So thank you for your service.
Yeah, and swing up to Scarefest when we're up there if you're still on base, because that's not too far from there. So
Exactly. Okay. Greetings from a UK traveler. Woot woot, an over the pond
I was
traveler.
on again.
I live near Prendle Hill. Are you familiar with the witches and UFO activity there? I'd love to see you all over here at some point, Teresa. Well, Teresa, next time I go over across the pond, I will figure out some way to do a live Eerie Travels when I'm there.
Yeah, Prindle Hill is amazing
Can't
place.
fly yet, so we're
Yeah, I'd have to take a boat, and I'm not big on boats, so that might take a while. So
Yeah.
we'll get there. But Prindle Hill is, man, it's an amazing place. I visited it a long time ago, and we could probably do an episode on that and go.
I'm throwing it on the list.
You're right. It is witches. There's UFOs. There's all kinds of stuff. Prindle Hill is it's a hot spot. So,
yeah, I agree.
Definitely. Thanks for the idea, Teresa. We will put that on the list.
And we love that you're listening to us. So thank you. We really appreciate that. And also I love England. So that's what I want to say. Okay, Mark.
Let's see. Oddball one for you all. What happens if they're all oddballs, but we love them. What happens if the cemetery buried someone on my plot lot that I have the deed for? Do they owe me a new lot? I don't see it being the right thing to move a body that is buried, but that's only me, maybe. Worried about bad juju. Already old and in bad health, and don't need a ghost mucking about with my resting place. Trevor.
Oh my God, Trevor, I love you so much. And I would think they need
What a bureaucratic nightmare.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, it happens. That's not as uncommon as I'd like to wish it was, but cemeteries sometimes put people in the wrong lots. Sometimes they bury people together that shouldn't be, and these things happen. So I do think you have a legal case. They probably owe you another lot. I doubt they'll move a person, but
and I would, unless you for some reason absolutely need that lot, I would just go, you don't have to move the person, just give me a new lot, tell me where it is.
Let me pick. Maybe upgrade me to a better spot.
So. Like a shady spot. Like get it like a real good spot.
And with me, I'm one of those guys, hey, when I'm gone, do whatever. It doesn't matter.
No, that is not true. You wanted some goth girl on your grave. Don't
I just want a stone. I don't care about my body. I want a stone marking me. That's all. So that's
all. No.
And a goth girl.
A goth girl will take the pictures on it. That's what I said. I'm just giving them permission to take photos on it. That's all.
Okay. And with that said, Trevor, let us know what happens. I'd love to know what the resolution is on that one. Okay. What does this creature sound like? Is he a ghost or something else? When I was a child, I saw this figure that was sort of transparent. It seemed like there was smoke where his feet were, and his eyes were like the beaming headlights of a car. He stood with his arms crossed, staring at me in the middle of the night. I never saw him again after. What kind of creature is this, Angela? Huh. Well, hello, Angela. And
Angela, the transparent photo negative sound like the beaming headlight eyes. That sometimes the Hat Man is sometimes seen like that.
That was my thought, was like, is that a sleep paralysis demon?
But that's or something. Yeah, that could be a lot of things. The smoky feet, that's common.
Yeah.
With apparitions, people describe that a lot. It sounds like you had an encounter with something and you caught it and you don't understand it, and that's what we call preternatural. We don't know. So
yes, and
it sounds cool though.
I know. I'm like, oh,
cool. And,
there's a scene like that in the movie Smile too. If people have seen that, there's a headlight thing.
Headlight eyes. I always think immediately of Flatwoods Monster that I happen to be wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
Of.
Yeah,
So.
I also wasn't there a beam in Ghostbusters, one of the Ghostbusters movie, when what's his name turned around, who was working with the evil demon, Ghostbusters 2, and his eyes were headlight eyes to walk away.
That's true.
Yeah. Weird. Angela, I hope that helps, but that is a very cool story. So, Mark.
Okay, let's see. Everything makes Erica scared. So, yeah, it does. Everything.
Not everything.
Everything.
It's kind of survival. My lizard brain works. Continue on.
All right, so what scares Mark? And does anything scare Bo or Carrie? Reggie.
Hi, Reggie.
Hi, Reggie. What scares me are murderers and serial killers and the real stuff and the man's inhumanity to man.
And
that's the stuff that
ghosts
gets
of
me.
Mark's girlfriend passed.
Yeah, again, man's inhumanity to man, or woman's inhumanity to man. But no, that's just that's what gets me. Honestly, when I can talk about the most terrible ghost stories and all this stuff, but it's that history behind them that really gets me and gives me the creeps. It's sad, sometimes when we just realize how terrible we are and the terrible things we can do to each other, that scares me. And if anything happening to my kids, that would scare me too. So even though they're not kids anymore, but it still worries me. Now as for Carrie, what scares Carrie is running out of yarn.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah. And not having access to cheese. That would be
valid.
That scares Carrie. So, all right, Bo.
Good tasty coffee. That's the other
thing.
Yeah.
Sweet coffee. The sweeter the better. So.
Okay, Bo.
All right, Bo.
Well, like Mark said, humans are pretty scary. And also, this is going to sound so stupid, but I'm really afraid of horseshoe crabs.
What?
They're just, I'm terrified of them. Yeah. I don't like horseshoe crabs. I don't like looking at them. I don't like thinking about them. They're gross and their blood is blue and I hate it.
I am glad I know this because this is going to come up useful later. Thank you, Reggie.
I'm sure it's going to be, and I'm a little worried.
No, I honestly, I worked on my phobias for years. I used to have a phobia of spiders, so I bought pet spider. Had phobia of snakes, bought pet snake. I had phobia of heights. I would start going up Skyway Bridge and doing all these weird things.
I'm not buying a horseshoe crab.
The one thing that got me though, that I still have an issue with, is deep water, oceans.
Well, that's scary though. Yeah. You don't know what's down there. We don't. Exactly. We haven't explored that.
Yep, that scares me more than anything, honestly. So, all right, Erica.
Okay. Thank you, Reggie. Here we go. Is there a dating app for paranormal peeps? I'd love someone with my interest. Maybe a Bumble for travelers. Liam, I love this idea. So anybody out there listening, we should make a dating
travelers.
Well, they can come hang out on our Discord and chit chat with each other.
Yeah, the Discord. Maybe we'll make a board on the thing on the Discord for travelers seeking travelers.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, we'll clickety-clack that into existence. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. All right, thanks, Liam. Good luck.
Yes.
So, all right. Has anyone tried chanting Bloody Mary and legitimately seen anything? I know. I hear some people saying that this question's been asked already, but that was a while ago now. So I'm not going to lie. I've been tempted to go into the bathroom, turn the light off, and chant. I believe it's supposed to be 3 times. And to turn the light on, but I'm legit afraid. For one, I believe in hauntings and bad omens, but at the same time, I'm so curious. Have you all tried and experienced anything, or would it be as silly as nothing happening? Gina.
I love that they're still worried about it. Like they're still like, you never know.
You never know.
Well,
never
here's
know.
what I'll see is that yes, I saw something the one time I did it when I was a child. I've already talked about many times what I see and how I see it. So
Yeah.
I don't know that it was Bloody Mary or like when you Candyman. I think you have to throw water on the mirror too to do whatever. There's like an actual ritual for it, and use candles. But the fact is that I think that if you try, you're asking to summon something in that mirror. So very much like I talk about the Ouija boards, you just have to be careful because you never know what's going to step through. It's not like it's Mary, Bloody Mary herself. It could be something else. So that's
It's
why I feel like,
intention. If
I
you
have
say,
tried it since we did the episode on it.
oh, did you?
Nothing happened, but
Yeah.
it was fun to try because
Yeah.
I had been scared to try it until then, and then I tried it, and nothing happened.
It's one of those. It all depends on you too.
yeah,
Whether you're open to it or not, and all that. It could be anything. And again, we talk about our cosplaying ghosts, Erica. It could be something. Oh, suddenly they want Bloody Mary. I'll give them Bloody Mary. A fearmonger would eat that up, man. They would love to make it so that you summon them. So
well, that and you're asking to be scared because it's not like you're asking for this thing to come and like have tea with you.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I would have been fine if she wanted to have tea.
I know,
Also.
but you wouldn't have been fine if she brought a horseshoe crab. So
It's the South Park with Biggie Smalls. I want to do it with Bruce Campbell, but he's still alive, so I don't want to bother him.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to do it with Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I don't want to bother him because having lunch or something.
After lunch.
Okay.
Can you imagine Bloody Mary in the afterlife? She's just like, oh God, again? I was just sitting down to have dinner. Come on. All right.
Okay. I've had some wild sights and experiences for a couple of years now. Looking back on all of it, one experience has kept following me in different settings, and I'm curious to know if you have had any similar ones or it's a known phenomenon. The pattern is I keep seeing shadowy silhouettes sitting in bushes and trees. That happened on 3 separate occasions, about 1 year apart each time, and in the different settings and situations. One time I saw them having an orgy in the woods. However, that was pretty vague. That sounds pretty cool. One time there was pretty visible and obvious to the eye that time they just sat pretty much quietly and still, and they were sitting like that for days. The third time it happened, they were pointing guns at me. They were sitting in trees all over the area, and in one of the trees, they were particularly aggressive. They didn't say anything. It was eerily quiet, actually. But one of the silhouettes popped some sort of smoke gun in the air and bubbles of indiscernible letters formed. Looked like it formed a sentence, but at the time I couldn't make it out. It looked like something you'd read or see in a dream. I'm saying this last bit because of the bizarre detail, shooting shadow smoke in the air actually interacting with me. They seem to be sort of sentient, but they're pretty passive or perhaps serene. I don't know what to make of it, why I kept seeing glued to treetops and around trees and bushes. If they were a figment of my imagination, I don't see how my mind would make them up continually to show up in trees, or they have the exact same feeling around them several years apart. One time, the same serene type of shadowy figures were sitting next to me, glued to couches, just sitting there, listening and observing. I felt like, is this a thing? Have you had any encounters with these types of shadow folks? Not particularly those vague ones open for a lot of interpretation, but like figures, silhouettes of what looks like people. Larry. Well, Larry, yes. The answer is yes.
Shadow people are a very common experience. Some people see them, some people don't. I do think we have our new band T-shirt from Axolotl with Shadow People Orgy.
You're gonna get us banned from social media again, Mark.
Shadow People Orgy in the woods. I am all about that kind of party.
Yes.
I wasn't invited.
I will say this too. It's almost sounds like, Larry, that you're able to see stone tapes. And that's what I'm wondering.
More
is it
prone to it than others? Yeah, you might be more open to it, and more the door is open and you're seeing them easier than others. That's, again, preternatural. Some people see them, some people don't. And the fact that you're having them over and over again, and years apart is interesting. Now the shooting of the smoke and the letters forming and that you can't read them, that associates me with dreams
Mhm.
because you can't read in your dreams. It's one of those. It's not 100%. That's just a common phrase because they even used it in Evil an episode because the left brain is reading and the right brain is your dreams, or I may have that reversed. But either way, it's hard to read in your dreams. So maybe that's you're kind of open to a dream-like state there. Who knows? I'd love to
Yeah,
learn more
no, I
about this.
think, and Larry, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think you should worry about it. I just think you're able to see through a veil that others can't, and there's nothing wrong. I same thing with me. I see certain things, and it sounds like you're seeing parts of the past.
Yeah.
Why they're in trees, the only other thing I will throw, which is I'm more convinced you're seeing stone tapes than this, but fae. Like
Yeah.
they are very natural creatures. So if you just have one that's kind of showing you stuff, it's kind of cool. Being next to you on the couch, I'm not a fan of because I don't think they should be in the house ever.
But also, where are you? Part of that because there's the Dark Watchers on the West Coast. There's the Nineveh, the Cherokee. There's a lot of other people who have see these shadow figure tribes and stuff like that just are around us, and we just don't see them. But you are lucky and able to interact with them. So maybe you've got some shaman blood in you or something. So, or medicine man. So who knows?
Yep. Agreed. Okay, Mark.
When blowing cinnamon on the 1st, is it in the door or out that we blow? I'm getting mixed messages. Lillian.
In. It's in the door.
You want
It's
to bring
you're blowing prosperity into your house.
Yeah, you can blow out the bad stuff. So that's when you want to put like dust and pepper and all that. Blow that out the door and blow the cinnamon in. I can see why you're getting mixed messages because that could come from either way.
Yes, and it's always a good thing. And if you want to, some people use a coin in their left hand to put the cinnamon on and blow it in for the prosperity. So you can do that. I have a coin I got in England, and I use that because I decided it was part of my totem. So there we go.
Intention. So,
exactly.
All right.
Okay.
Erica, thank you, Lily.
I'm going. In January 18th, 2025, between 10 and 11 p.m., while traveling on the route between Emporia and Soughton River State Park in Virginia, a white and amorphous creature was observed crossing an open field at 5 to 10 feet above the ground before disappearing in the woods. The creature was uniformly vibrant white, resembling a towel spiraling as it moved in a straight line, estimated speed of 20 miles plus 5 miles per hour. It made no sound. Its presence was indistinctively felt before being seen, invoking an eerie awareness. The sighting occurred in a rural area characterized by fields and wood surroundings. Skies were clear despite a low altitude and close proximity to the vehicle. No discernible features such as wings, a head, a body were visible, leaving the creature's identity a mystery. Any idea what it was? Keep me anonymous as I'm a ranger and I don't want to be fired. Anonymous.
Oh, Rangers.
Rangers. We love Rangers. You know what I'm thinking? We were just talking about this, Mark, is that Fresno Nightcrawler.
That's 100% what I immediately thought of when I read this was when you were reading this out loud. I'm like, that's Fresno.
Yeah.
That's
so
very similar to the
anonymous.
Nightcrawlers.
I think it's whatever creature the Fresno Nightcrawler is.
How far is that from you, Bo?
I'm not 100% sure, but I love the idea that the Nightcrawlers are in Virginia now because they're very cute and I like them.
How far
Let
is
me look at
Emporia and Staunton River State Park near you?
Staunton River State Park. Let me look.
All right, and then now what is that other line in there? It traveled across the field in front of my car and into the woods. It was a little bit longer than the car is wide. It made no sound. Wow, that's just interesting. So
it's 4 hours from me.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Hunt it.
So I think now that we know where it is, we need to reach out to a couple of our crews to go look. But
I know
that's
some teams in that area.
my guess, because if you look at the video that did catch the Fresno Nightcrawler, very similar kind of movement, fairly quickly, vibrant white.
Resembling a towel spiraling as it moved in a straight line around 20 miles an hour. Yeah.
That's my growth. Yes, my growth. Words. Okay. Mark, take the next question since apparently I can't do words.
Okay. All right. So, oh, this is a fun one. Have you heard of the paramilitary group called the Phantoms and Medusa, which hunts dangerous cryptids and in some cases captures them? Ryan.
Mhm.
All right.
This sounds like
So
a comic book.
it's actually very similar to Larry Correa and Monster Hunter International, and I've heard rumors of a military organization that chases cryptids and captures them for study and stuff like that. It's so common, it's become a trope in fiction. It's become a trope in it's actually one of the fiction books I'm writing is uh Rangers Wildlife Committee. It's a secret branch of the Wildlife Commission. It's it I've heard these stories, but no one ever is it's just stories. No one's ever seemed to have like they flashed a badge or anything like that. It's like the Men in Black. It's very similar. They say these weird things, like they see the military groups running into the woods. Military do a lot of operations training in various woods and national parks and stuff like that. Speaking of Ocala National Forest, they have a whole area that's blocked off for bombing runs and where they actually actively bomb.
There is
Uh,
a YouTube channel, so I added it to our list to look into what we can find. So we'll have to do a little deep dive on this to see
yeah,
where it can go and see if I get an email from X telling me to stop.
yeah.
So,
Don't look into
yay!
Phantoms and Medusa. I have heard those names before too. So,
Yeah.
all right.
So we'll look into it for you, Ryan. Thank you.
I've heard codename Medusa before. So,
Okay.
all right.
Hey, Erica and Mark.
Hey.
What is your earliest paranormal experience with multiple witnesses? Devin.
Multiple witnesses.
I remember, I have one, I remember.
I do
So,
too. So go ahead, go first.
so when I was very young, it actually is what started my mom telling me to stop talking about what I was seeing. Was my mom took me to a friend's house. Then there are many parents there, and I saw what looked like, I called it a dragon. I don't know what it was. I've talked about this on the show earlier. And I said to them, I mentioned the dragon like when I came in because I saw it, right? And apparently something was bothering the child in this house. And it was this thing, and they were talking about trying to get rid of it. And when I said I saw it, everybody kind of turned around and looked at me. So that was my earliest experience with multiple witnesses.
The one that suddenly, I'd seen strange things my whole life. I talk about that. My first memory being seeing something in my house as I grew up as a child and all this. But the one that suddenly I was like, okay, I'm not crazy because somebody else saw it was I was a young kid. I was a volunteer at Sunrise Museum in West Virginia, which is now a private residence. It was owned by the first governor of West Virginia. It's sitting in Charleston, West Virginia. It looks out over the thing. It was a history museum and a science museum, and at the time, and I saw at one point I'm walking into this one hall which was filled with old Civil War memorabilia and this old dress, and it looked like there was someone suddenly in the dress. A lady was in the dress, and you could see her. It was like a photo negative of her in this brightly colored dress, but she was gray and photo negative, could see right through her. And the curator was with me. I was like 8 or 9. And I saw her and I was like, oh my gosh. And the curator said, oh yeah, she's there sometimes.
Oh, wow.
And that was the first time I was like, you see her too? And he's like, yeah, and I watch, and she'll just disappear. And then she did. And
wow.
We never said anything else about it. I never even thought to ask him about it or anything.
Wow.
So sad that museum is in private hands now, and the state of West Virginia sold it to some billionaire. So, which is sad, but
yeah. Yes. So, Devin, those are our earliest.
Yep.
Bo, do you want to jump in with one that you can think of?
The only experiences that I've had where other people were there were at ghost hunts. So one, I was with Valerie and her husband, and we kind of like corroborated things with each other, but it was like I think I've told that story before about St. Augustine, so I won't
Yeah.
reshare it.
So I would listen to our St. Augustine episode for that one.
Yeah, I think it was on one, either that one or it was on our like ghost experiences episode, like from early 100s.
Okay.
Yep.
We've only got a couple more left, so let's slam these out, gang. So we're gonna go a little long, but we've only got a couple left. Let's try to catch up. So
okay, go for it, Mark.
What inspired you all to start your podcast? From Lincoln.
Hi, Lincoln.
It's kind of funny. Do you want me to tell this, Erica? Or
I'm story, Mark.
You too, because I want to hear your version of how this started. Because then I'll come in with the truth.
I've been on a lot of podcasts as guests and talking and stuff as my books were coming out and all that. I'd been invited and people kept asking, when are you going to do a podcast? I'm like, when somebody pays me, when somebody does this, it's a lot of work. I'm trying to type. I'm trying to do all these things. I had a day job, want to do all this stuff. And then finally at one point, Erica said, why don't we do this? And I'm like, I need somebody to help. I need somebody to do this. And Erica's like, I'm here. So
yeah, we Mark had been on my Drinking with Authors podcast, which I'm restarting this year, but I've talked to Mark for years because he tells these stories and they're amazing. I'm like, people love hearing them. Let's do it. And I think it came down to finding the right mixture of people to come together to create this. And I think I'm very fortunate because, Mark comes with so much knowledge on all these legends and stories and, all that stuff. And I come from a background of true crime and having the crap scared out of me by hauntings. So I think it was a good combination. So yes, that's how it happened, Lincoln. So thank you for the question. Okay, I'll get this one. You get the last one, Mark.
All right, sounds good.
As someone who wants to start my own podcast on the paranormal, well, this is funny. Okay, what advice would you give me, Diana? Diana, I think the biggest thing I've seen with podcasts is you have to be prepared with a lot of material. We get asked this a lot, and I think people can sometimes have good ideas, but if you don't really think about where you're going with it, what you're going to talk about, are you going to have guests on? I think there's room for all of us. And if you choose to start one, let us know. Like Sirens of the Supernatural, that's one. We have so many podcast adjacent friends in our community. Mm-hmm. There's so much to talk about, but really prepare yourself. And I would record a few episodes and see what that's like to do that and make sure you have the time and energy to make that happen. Because as you know, as a traveler, like because of Mark's health, we've had to take some time, and me and Bo jump in and Carrie and stuff. So, we've had to take a little bit of a step back. We're going to increase where we can, but that's something to think about is that, you're producing a show every week or two every week. That's a lot of energy, and you have to be able to do it and know where you're going. Because if you have 10 stories, that's only 10 episodes. So what are you going to do with that versus most podcasts are weekly, at least one a week, and that's 52 things you need to talk about and have time in your day. Mark, would you?
And also, just like when you write a book or you're a painter or any other creative project, you're running a YouTube channel, you're running an Instagram account, whatever, not just coming up with content, you're also promoting your own content. And that can be tricky as heck. You're going to get to a certain point and it's going to plateau. You're going to have so many listeners and then try to get them to invite their friends and try to expand. It's tricky. It happens. And that's I think the thing nobody realizes is you're not just a podcaster. You're not just a writer. You're not just an artist. You're promoting. And that is the part everybody falls apart at. Because you can talk. Will anybody come to listen? That's where you get. So
exactly. So Diana, we hope that helps. If you start something, let us know.
Yep, please do. All right. Okay.
Mark, final question.
Last one. Hi, Mark and Erica. Hi.
Hello.
I just discovered your show and want to know what is your favorite episode so far? Are there any must-listen episodes, Tina?
Well, Tina, they're all must-listen episodes.
Yes. Start
Good
number
one,
one,
Erica.
and we'll see you in 100 and some odd episodes. But and you'll catch up. But just listen to them on 2x speed like I do. And that's how I have to keep up with all my other podcasts. Is everybody sounds like the chipmunks to me. But I get a lot of content real quick. But no, honestly, we've had some great episodes. Some stand out, of course, generally listener questions episodes, listener tales episodes, because those are things we don't know what to expect. And they come out of the blue.
Yeah, I mean, I love just the tales, but I'll say my favorite episode is still Who's the Most Powerful Vampire, because I feel like that was created.
Because you won that one.
You won.
I won that one. But it is also created so much fan interaction on the trying to prove me wrong or agreeing with me that it is very fun to see how polarized our audience is by that episode, and including one of our absolute favorite humans on the planet, Stacey Brown, who, secretly does agree with me on this entire point. And soon we'll do an episode where he actually reveals his true nature.
He's on.
Yeah, he just, like we'll work together on it, because I feel deep in my heart that he's ready to come out of the vampire closet.
Oh my gosh.
So that is my answer.
No, I said just my favorite episode is your favorite episode. That's just how it works. No, I hate to say that, it's a cop-out answer, but they're all a lot of fun. I mean, look at this one. I mean, we've talked Fresno Nightcrawlers in Virginia and Shadow Squatch in London, Kentucky. Come on, this is the stuff that I'm like, wow, this gives me so much more to write about, talk about, get teams out to. So yeah, any of these episodes, the question episodes and the tales episodes are awesome. So tune into any one of those and you're in for a treat. And we've got more coming.
Yes, we do, because we're catching up. So thank you, everyone, for all these questions. We love them. Thank you, travelers, for your constant support of us. Thank you, our patrons that are there getting cool merch and stuff. You can check us out always there, and send us questions. Please, please, please. We love it. And with that said, Mark, how do we want to depart from our listeners?
Again, thank you all to our patrons on Patreon for keeping the show on the road. And thanks to please support our sponsors. We've got lots of them now, which is really nice. So thank you all so much. And stick with our ones that have been with us from the beginning. Wonderful Bow Lake producer and Destiny Beard for doing our music. As always, projects with her coming up. We can't discuss too much, but oh my gosh, there's more in the works. Our books should be available for pre-order, the first one at least. So please get out there, check that out, eerietravels.com. You'll find all of our appearances we've got coming and all that. And with that said, I'm just going to say, when you're heading out to basic training at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, or you're traveling to Prindle Hill in the UK and looking for UFOs, or if you're wandering around looking at that shadow figure in the woods that's maybe going to a party with a bunch of other shadow figures, document, take notes, maybe take a video if you can, fire up the Ouija board, and we'll see you on the other side.